Today, we're diving into the mindset that actually builds wealth. And here's the secret. It's not really about what's in someone's bank account. It's about what's going on in their brain. We're going to break down the core differences in thinking that literally create fortunes.
You've probably asked yourself this a million times, right? Is it just luck or being born into the right family? Well, the source material we're looking at today suggests the answer is a lot simpler, and more importantly, it's something that is 100% within your control. And that right there, that's the whole idea. The biggest gap between the rich and the poor isn't financial, it's psychological. It all comes down to the mental software you're running when you think about money, time, and opportunity.
All right, so let's get into our first section here. The main idea is that the real wealth gap isn't about dollars and cents, it's about your mindset. It's not the money you have, it's how you think about the money you have.
I mean, how empowering is that? Wealth isn't some secret club with a velvet rope. It's just a set of mental models, a different way of thinking that anyone, and I mean anyone, can learn and apply. So let's start learning them.
First up, let's tackle the big one, money itself. The fundamental difference, the very first domino to fall, is how you see the purpose of every single dollar that comes into your life.
So think about it like this. When you get $1, is it just a token to buy something? A little snack you consume and then it's gone? Or is it a seed? Is it a little soldier you can send out into the world to capture more resources and bring them back to you? That one little shift in perspective, it changes everything.
And this builds right on top of that last point. See, one mindset is just focused on income, trading their precious time for a paycheck. The other is focused on using that money to build or buy assets, things that make money without their time. They're not just buying stuff, they're literally buying back their own freedom.
And hey, just so we're all on the same page here, this is what we mean by an asset. It is not the fancy car in your driveway or the new phone in your pocket. An asset is a system that works for you. It's the engine of wealth, running 24/7, whether you're working, sleeping, or on vacation.
Now look at how these two mindsets handle debt. It's like night and day. For a lot of people, debt is a trap. It's used to buy things that go down in value. But for the wealthy, it's a tool. It's leverage. They use it to acquire those income-producing assets, like a business or a rental property, way faster than they ever could with just their own cash.
This brings us to risk. It's a huge one. One mindset is totally paralyzed by the fear of losing money. Their inner voice is constantly screaming, "What if I fail?" The other mindset, well, they're energized by the fear of missing out on a great opportunity. They just flip the script and ask, yeah, but what if this is the one that really works?
Okay, so it's not just about money. Wealth is about how you manage all of your resources. And we're going to start with the one resource you can absolutely never, ever get back.
You know, time is the only thing you can't make more of. The poor mindset just kind of lets it slip away. Hours scrolling on social media, complaining, putting things off. The rich mindset, though, they see time as their most valuable asset, and they actively buy more of it. How? By delegating tasks, automating whatever they can, and just being ruthless about prioritizing what actually matters.
And this is a question I want you to really think about. Just for a second. Think about the last 24 hours of your life. Were you spending your time on things like scrolling or passive entertainment? Or were you investing it in things that will pay you back tomorrow, like learning something new, building a relationship, or working on your business?
You know, this same principle applies to conversations. One mindset goes into a conversation to talk, to argue, to prove they're right. It's all about ego. The other mindset goes in to listen, to ask questions, to gather intelligence. They're not trying to win the argument in the room. They're trying to learn what they need to know to win out in the real world.
Here's a subtle one, but it's a really powerful distinction when it comes to networking. Horizontal networking is all about comfort. You hang out with your peers, people at the same level. But vertical networking, that's about growth. That's about intentionally building relationships with people who are further along than you are. Mentors, decision makers, people who will stretch your thinking.
For the wealthy, school is never out. Education isn't something that ends with a degree. It's a continuous, lifelong process. They are constantly investing in their own knowledge through books, courses, mentors, because they know it's the one asset that can never be taken away from them, and it has, by far, the highest return on investment.
Okay, we've talked about money and we've talked about resources. Now for our final section, the internal engine. What's the thing that actually translates all this thinking into real-world results? Well, it all boils down to how you manage your own actions and, crucially, your emotions. Here's a simple truth. Growth only happens outside of your comfort zone. The poor mindset is always prioritizing feeling good right now. The rich mindset gets it. They understand that temporary discomfort, waking up early, making that scary phone call, learning a tough new skill, that discomfort is the down payment for long-term success.
So when a problem pops up, where does your energy go? Does it go into complaining and finding excuses for why you can't do something? Or does it immediately pivot to finding a solution? This is the fundamental difference between seeing problems as roadblocks and seeing them as puzzles that could actually be solved for a profit. And this shows you exactly how they solve those puzzles. They don't just find a quick, one-time fix. No, they build a system. They identify a problem, create a solution that can scale up, then they automate and delegate the work, and finally, they reinvest and repeat the whole process. It turns a single solution into a machine that creates value over and over. And this might be the single most important point of all. Emotion is the absolute enemy of building wealth. Fear makes you sell your investments at the very bottom. Greed makes you buy at the very top. Impulse makes you spend the money you should be investing. The wealthy mindset is all about cultivating the discipline to let logic, data, and patience guide every single financial decision.
So, we have covered a ton of ground here, but the whole point of this explainer is to show you that none of this stuff is carved in stone. This isn't about your destiny, it's about your decisions.
Let's just recap the core shifts one last time. Start seeing money as a seed to be planted, not a snack to be eaten. Treat your time like it's your most valuable asset, because it is. Turn problems into puzzles you can solve. Actively choose growth over comfort. And always let logic, not emotion, drive your financial decisions. This is the playbook.
And that leaves us with one final crucial question for you. Knowing all this is one thing, but it's only powerful if you actually apply it. So what's the first different thought you're going to have? The first tiny change you're going to make tomorrow about your money, your time, or your future? Because that's where this whole journey really begins.